Hello, so this is my weekly video, and I'm thinking I might do this a bit more often, sharing just a message from the akasha. So this is a message for this community today. So that's one of the things that we can do with the Akashic Records, is in the way that I work, is open into the Akashic Records and ask for a message. Ask for a message for ourselves, or ask for a message for someone else, or for a community, or, you know, for the world. I mean, you can access what you would like to access in alignment with your intention. So it all depends on your intentions. So I'm out here in this beautiful place, walking along the road, as I love to walk in the afternoon, walking along the country roads, and there's rolling hills all around. The sun's just starting to go down, and this is a good place to share the message today. So the message is to take time to notice the magic. You know, this is something that the Akashic Records, working with the Akashic Records, really heightens for me, and it's something that's so important, is take the time to notice the magic. Life responds to our focus. So when you choose to notice the magic and take the time to just notice the magic in life, just notice how life is showing up in magical ways. That might be, for me, it's a lot through nature that I notice the magic. I notice the way the light plays upon the leaves. So I was walking along and I noticed the way the light was playing on the leaves, and for me, noticing the magic opens me up to looking at life from a place of wonder, and just noticing what shows up and how that's showing up, and being in that flow of being in the magic and living the magic and being part of that. So for me, I might notice, you know, how the clouds are moving across the sky, or, you know, the way the wind, when I'm speaking now, it's like the wind is almost just caressing me. So we're noticing when the way that I live the magic, and that's different for all of us, is just to notice subtlety through my senses. So notice the light and all the colors, and the, you know, the way the light's perhaps reflecting. I used to walk along the lake and notice the way that the light played upon the water, and it was so beautiful, and the ripples that the water made. This is magic to me. This is noticing the magic. So noticing some little flowers, and how, you know, I'm noticing, looking at the flowers and how they're just moving and waving in the wind. Yeah, for someone else that might be ordinary, but for me there's a touch of the magic all around me that I'm noticing. It's noticing the small things that just I noticed when I was a child, and that we can forget to notice and pay attention to. And, you know, I'm seeing it does have an element of imagination in it. So, you know, for someone else they might say, well, that doesn't really have magic in it, but for me it does. It brings to life my perception brings to life that capacity to see the magic in the world. So I'm seeing the ferns all blowing and moving, and it's like they're dancing and moving. And so in my connection with nature, there's a magic that brings where we're connected, and we're having a communication and a flow between us, and this is where the magic is. So there's a connection with, you know, how the wind and I are having a communication, or how the trees and the flowers. That's how one of the ways that I live the magic. So what is it for you? It might be, for some people it's noticing the signs that show up. Those, it's not my thing, I don't really get it, but I know that's noticing the magic for people. For some people it's noticing those angel numbers that show up. And that tells them something. Or noticing, a bird. I do notice particular birds showing up, or animals, and in fact a butterfly, just a beautiful butterfly, just flew up and around the tree as if it was almost just revealing itself for an instant and then disappearing again. So that's, for me, that's a confirmation of what I'm saying, that there's just magic all around us, just revealing itself, like just giving us a glimpse of that magic and wonder of life. But it's up to us to notice and pay attention. So so that feels like, so I've just been letting that message, so I open the Akashic Records and just let it flow, what's there, what's coming through. And then there was just that moment, a moment ago, there was just no energy there. Then no, I'm just noticing this little black feather. So yeah, the channeling had finished. So when I first started working with the Akashic Records, I started with a pendulum. I would just ask questions, yes or no, questions for a yes or no answer, and get the answer. And then I would, get maybe just receive something would come to me, and I would check it with the pendulum. So that's how I started accessing information from the Akashic Records. And now when I open up the records, the information will often just flow through me. And I find what's been happening for a little while is when I speak, is I start speaking, and just before I say it, a message is coming through, something's coming through that I didn't know before. Excuse me, and I just start to speak that and let that, I actually have that moment of choice before I actually say it. So I just realize something and then I'm speaking it. But I cannot say it. But it's feels better to just let that message flow. But it's funny because I don't know what I'm going to say until just that moment before I say it, and then I suddenly know something and it's coming through. So that's how messages come through for me through the akasha. It's that sense of, hi Irene, lovely to see you here. So I opened the records and then just let that flow, what's there to bring through. So that's one of the things that we can do working with the Akashic Records, in the way that I work with that now. People do work with it in different ways. So one of the things that I'm thinking of, Irene, I'm just sort of coming to the end of the message now. I already had delivered the message, and there was just that energy shift in the message. That was it. That was the message. So you might like to go back and listen to that. I do appreciate you showing up. One of the things that I'm thinking of doing in the group, if anyone's interested, is to do a live Akashic experience if people are up for that. So I'm going to post that in the group and write if you'd like to show up. And I think I'll start with doing I don't want to do something that would be too, I want to do something that feels reasonably comfortable for the person that's doing it, not something my work can be very deep, and obviously, want to be respectful on a video in a group that's not going somewhere that's too uncomfortable for the person or too deep. So that's just my sense of holding a a level, how to hold a level of the work in a live video that will work for everyone. So what I'm thinking is, one of the things that I do is talk about people's soul gifts and how they're expressing them and not expressing them, and where the blocks are and what that looks like to express that more. So I'm thinking if someone would be interested, I'm going to ask in the group and maybe do that once a week and offer, if someone would like to comment under the post and say, yes, I'd love to, be the person, maybe 30 minutes. It would be live in the group, and we could work out a time that suits us both, live in the group, and I would open your records. You would PM me the details of your records before, because it's private information. We don't want to share that in the group. And you would PM me before, and then you could, if you have some questions, you could give me questions that you're wanting, or a focus for the work. And yeah, then we can do that live, and you could have that healing and experience, and everyone else can. So it would be like a short session with me, and you'd get the benefit of that and the healing and insights from that, and everyone in the group who wants to watch that could benefit from that too. So they could see more about how it works. It's deeper than me just talking about the Akashic records or sharing messages. They would see how, people could see how, you can actually bring healing, because I'm essentially a healer, how you can bring healing and insights working the Akashic records, perhaps in ways that are different to what other people do, because we all work with the Akashic records and translate that energy and information in our own way. And that's part of my real passion for the Akashic records, is assisting people to translate the energy of the records in their own unique way, and to tap into how to do that, because we all have different ways that we naturally do that. And for me too, sometimes I've seen, information might come through a hand movement or gesture. It might come through moving energy with the hands, all sorts of ways it can come through. Obviously channeling, and it can come through energy. So we're all different. So I love assisting people to, bring through energy and translate energy in their own way. Okay, so oh, hi Irene, lovely to see you here. Thanks so much for showing up. So yeah, if you're here today and it came to me to talk about that, so you may be the person that would like to show up live with me and have a short Akashic session in the group. So, or maybe someone else would. So hopefully I'm going to post that now, actually, when I finish the video, and just invite someone to step in for next week. Probably we'll plan it in advance, so we'll do that next week and have that experience and sharing, and everyone else gets to learn and to share in that too. I think that'll be a really great thing to do in the group. So thank you so much, Irene. It's so lovely to speak to you. When people turn up, it's so much nicer than just speaking to the phone, walking along here. But I'm given the message to show up and share, so I just show up and share it anyway, and know that the right people will hear that at the right time. Obviously it's windy out here, my hair's blowing all over the place, but yeah, that's just what it is. So thank you so much. Lovely to see you here, Irene. Okay, I'm going to finish up now.